What the hell are you afraid of? That is a good question. The more mentoring that I do, the more I see that what holds people back from their success in business acquisition is self-image and self-esteem, and almost always that is born in fear. So what do you say we talk about fear? And I've listed for myself several points on fear that I want to pass out and that will help you drive a stake through the heart of fear, I expect. So first, fear is mostly an illusion. I have said this a lot, but studies show that 95% of the things we worry about never actually happen. But the brain is wired for survival, not success, and it exaggerates threats. So certainly, just remember that 95% of the stuff that you worry about doesn't happen, and we're going to talk about that a little more here. Most fear is fear of the unknown. Fear thrives in uncertainty. Knowledge and action eliminate uncertainty. So break things down into steps and ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can realistically happen? Most of the time, it's not that bad. Fear is just wasted time and energy. Every minute you spend worrying is a minute that you're not taking action. And paralysis by analysis has killed more deals than failure ever will. I think it was Mark Twain that said, I don't worry because then if it happens, I live it twice. I worry about it and then it actually happens. But remember again, 95% of the stuff you worry about isn't going to happen. The regret is far worse than failure. Boy, is that ever true. If you don't take action, you'll regret it later. And you will. So ask yourself, would I rather try and fail or sit back and wonder, what if? On your deathbed, hopefully a long time from now, you're not going to remember the failures. You're going to think about, what if I had done that? What if I had taken that chance? How would my life have been different? The antidote to fear is certainly action. And confidence doesn't come from action. It comes from before action. It comes from action. So remember that. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after action. So take one small step forward, then another, and progress, not perfection, but progress kills fear. And fear is a signal. It's not a stop sign. Most people feel fear, but they act anyway. And think about the great heroes and successes. They were afraid, but they pushed through that. So fear can mean you're pushing boundaries, and embrace it. Just understand, okay, this is something that I'm doing. I have some fear associated with it, but guess what? I'll be better on the other side. Reframe the worst case scenario. Say to yourself, what's the absolute worst thing that can happen? Could you recover from it? And almost always the answer is yes. What's the best thing that could happen if you push forward is another way to look at that as well. So a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. And then think past the fears. How many times have you feared something that never actually happened? So if I were you, I would take a day, and when fears come into your head, write those down. And then look back on that day and say, how many of those things actually happened? And almost always the answer is 95% of them didn't happen. So remember that, and I'd suggest you remember that as an affirmation as well. 95% of the things we worry about never happen. Okay, what happens, and have you overcome it before? What challenges have you had that you overcame before? I've been here before. I've done this before. I know how to get through that. Those are all positive things to work against fear. And then end, with a challenge. Pick one thing, just one thing, that you've been putting off due to fear and do it today. Maybe that is joining the group coaching that I do. I don't know. Maybe it is getting the Acquisition Advantage Boot Camp. Maybe it's making a phone call. But write down one thing that you think would help you move closer to your goals the best, and then do it. And see how you feel after you've done it. So I hope that helps. I hope that you think about fear as what a lot of people, including myself, have called it: fear, false expectations appearing real. Fear. So I look forward to talking to you. I hope that you are on your journey. I hope that you're having success, and success does breed success. Use the team around you. Remember, they have more experience. But when it all boils down at the end, know what to do and take action, and continue to take more action. And you will do far better than those that are paralyzed by fear and don't take action.